Hey everyone, hope you are having a great Monday. Want to take a look at a passage of scripture from the book of Esther. We don't really talk about Esther a whole lot, but as we've been talking about our calling in life and who are we called to be, and then what are we called to do, there's a great passage in Esther that talks about that. And in Esther chapter 4, Esther is called to do something that could risk her life. There's a guy named Haman who is part of the government, and he wants to extinguish all of the Jews. And then there's Mordecai, who is the uncle to Esther, and Esther is in the court. She's really the queen now. And there's a story, she's Jewish, Mordecai's Jewish, Haman is not. And Haman, again, wants to destroy the Jews. And so in Esther chapter 4, verses 14 to 17, or 14 to 16, listen to what we hear. Mordecai says to Esther, "For if you keep silent at this time, relief and deliverance will rise for the Jews from another place, but you and your father's house will perish. And who knows whether you have not come to the kingdom for such a time as this?" Then Esther told the messengers to reply to Mordecai by saying, "Go gather all the Jews to be found in Susa," another in Persia, and hold a fast on my behalf, and do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. I and my young women will also fast as you do. Then," she says, "I will go to the king, though it is against the law, and if I perish, I perish." See, in those days, if the king didn't call you in, you couldn't just walk into his room. You couldn't walk into the throne room. And if you walked in unannounced, unexpected, and if the king doesn't raise his scepter, then you'll be killed. I mean, it was as simple and as crazy as that. And so Esther gets this call from Mordecai. And he says to her, "Who knows whether or not you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this?" That's a great question for us as well. Who knows that whether God hasn't put us here in this moment, in this situation, good or bad, victorious or not, for such a time as this? Are you ready to go out there and follow what God is calling you to do? Who are you? Who has he called you to be so that you can go into the world and do what he wants you to do? And as Esther said, if I'll go to the king. And if I perish, I perish. But I love what Mordecai said as well, because he had confidence that there would be deliverance. In verse 14, he said, "If you keep silent at this time, relief and deliverance will rise for the Jews from another place. And if it doesn't come through you, God will rise a deliverer." But he said, for you, Esther, if you don't try this, then your household will be destroyed as well. Even me, I might be destroyed, says Mordecai. But God will raise a deliverer. I love that confidence from Mordecai. I love the challenge that he put on his niece. So, folks, today, just maybe a thought for you. Go into the world, follow what God's called you to do, and make a difference for him. For who knows, maybe you've been put here for such a time as this, that you go into the world and show the world who Jesus is by the way you live. Have a great day, and God bless you.